What up? It's your boy T-Bear Reaction. Today's Music Monday. So now I'm gonna get into the music scene as well too. Kicking it up with the DJ Mag. So I decided to shorten it down to this one video a week for these DJ Mags as well too though, because for like I'm throwing together not as well too just for the fuck of it. So that being said, we're gonna do one at a time. We want to check this one right here called from Stevie V on his song on his making of his hip house classic Dirty Cash Money Talk as well too though. So without further ado, let's check this out. I know it by name. If I hear it too, I'm definitely probably gonna recognize it, but let's get it.
If you're a footballer, you want to play at Wembley, but as a muso, it's about getting on top of the pops.
Oh, this is right.
Hi, I'm Steve from The Adventures of Steve.
So yeah, I recognize this round. Yeah, I see why I call it hip house, because around the time, you know, house was like, you know, house is urban anyway, but it was like big in urban to the fact that, you know, it was like collating with hip hop for a while. Then it was somebody I told you somebody, it was a clip, it was like an interview clip on I found on Facebook real talking about why hip hop got away from house, because you know, hip hop being homophobic, and you know, and house was correlated with the LGBTQ plus community. So yeah.
This is the story of Dirty Cash. One of the houses that we moved into when I was a kid had a cellar downstairs, and my dad's band used to rehearse down there. My dad was a bass player, and I just fell in love with how the instruments work with each other. Dad's band was like 7-piece, you know, so all singing, all dancing, saxes and, you know, trombone. It's fantastic. Like so many other kids, I think I was 14 when I decided, you know, I was going to be the best bass player in the world. And then at 15, you soon realise that probably not going to be the best bass player in the world. As The Adventures of Stevie V, the whole idea was to be able to work with quite a few different musos, dancers, and any, you know, people in the industry.
Is that his actual? That's the full name. I'm just thinking. I thought it was like something of Stevie. I thought it was yep, that's the group. Oh, it's the name of the group. I'm tripping. I'm thinking just a visual Stevie about his song, but I didn't know it was like a whole group though. My fault. I feel slow.
That was the whole idea. I had worked with a guy called Mick Walsh. He rented my studio out and we got on really well, and I thought he was talented. I just basically asked him to come and work with me at my studio. I said, want to do a track that's not about love, wanted to do something a bit hardcore, and I said, like Money. Him being the sort of lyricist that he is, took it away and came back with this Money Talks, which I thought was brilliant. However, I wanted a bit more to it, experimenting with rhythms of lyrics, if you like, and that's where the Dirty Cash, I want you, Dirty Cash, that's okay. Where that came.
I love the keyboard sounds of house, man.
I engineer and produce, and I'd recently I'd put my studio together with all the latest equipment. I remember Roland D110, which was a multi-timbral synth, could access 16 different parts, which was really quite exciting back then. Everyone's heard of an Akai sampler. I spent a whole £100 on a C1000 microphone, you know, so I had a lot of the bits and pieces required, you know. At the time I was working as an electronic engineer. I was working night and day just to get money for equipment, if you like. Melody was playing in one of my friend's band, and I went to see them in Stevenage. And the band were all right, but I was just captivated by Melody's voice. She had one of those real warm voices, and she could deliver a real straightforward lyric without being too fussy. You know, got her to come into the studio. That's when we hit our first hurdle though, because she was quite religious. She wasn't sure that she wanted to be involved in a song that has, so say, risque lyrics. A DJ friend of mine passing by, I think I was doing one of the final mixes. He was like, "Steve, just give me a copy of this. This is amazing, this track." He was the first DJ to get hold of Dirty Cash, and he had a label call me back literally 24 hours later. And it's the same label that I signed to. It was signed to Mercury Records, the A&R guy that was assigned to my project. He let me know that really he's a rock guy. He admitted that he just didn't understand this music, but was told to sign it because they didn't have a dance project. It was released on December the 4th, 1989. I think it got to number 100 or 101, something like that. I remember having a meeting with him just before the Christmas period, and he said, "Stevie, we're clearing out some of the artists. You're probably one." I had a call beginning of January to say, "Steve, can you come back in and let's talk about this song that you've got." He admitted that he didn't really see it, but he'd had so many requests for it that he had to re-look at the whole situation. It was put back out April 1990, and straight away it was like their biggest song of the year for them. I got a call from Caroline Peed from the promotions department to say the midweek is 28. And with that, she was like hyperventilating because she'd never had a track do so well.
To fame. He's a recent signing to Phonogram, but this single's been around since December. Here he is with Dirty Cash.
I hadn't really thought about it until we'd got in the changing rooms, and I just sat there, and it just hit me that this is top of the pops. Top of the pops.
Right. That's a big thing.
If you're a footballer, you want to play at Wembley, but as a muso, it's about getting on top of the pops.
Were you from UK locally or US?
And they let us know that if you want to sing live, this is not the place for you. There's the door, if you don't mind.
Of course.
With Top of the Pops, it was, it was all about what they wanted. At times we were doing 5 PAs in an evening, The demand for the track was so big that we just worked and worked. And then got the call from the States to say that Mercury wanted to release it. That was a whole fabulous experience, We toured America 3 times, I believe, for the best part of a month at a time. Because we were told that you need to be there and be in their faces if you want to break America. We didn't quite break America, but we had a lot of fun doing it.
Money talks, dirty cash, I want you, dirty cash, I need you.
Our budget was like $3,000 for a video, which is laughable, really. We wore our own clothes. Yeah, we had to pay for all of that ourselves. It was a good video. The interesting thing is, though, that was $3,000 to make the video. They spent $9,000 to re-edit it for the American market. Initially, it was the Netflix thing. That's what everyone was getting excited about. I'd heard, especially through the record company, that there's a possibility that Netflix might want to use it, which I found really exciting. But if I'm honest, I wasn't sure that was going to happen. So I'm really grateful that I've got a label in Ultramoda that did really go out and champion it. Can't believe how much people are loving it.
And I'm the one that can relate to you, him, her, and your body.
I'd heard Porter's production, and I thought it was fabulous. Really pleasantly surprised they managed to get it together and put it out, you know, and it's wonderful that it's doing as well as it is. For it to be where it is again 30 years later, it's just incredible, especially if you look at dance music. You don't expect to have longevity, much more 30 years.
Nah, man, a lot of dance songs are timeless classics. Like, folks listen to it like they never heard, like it's brand new almost these days. You may never know. Other than that, this was good though. This was a good little story behind this song. I definitely remember hearing the song before, and then the remix of my era as well too. But I definitely remember the original though. You know what I mean? Because that was like the sound around the time in the late 80s, early 90s as well too. Other than that, if you like my reaction, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's your boy T-Bird signing off. One love.